led training, VLAT mode, as this program is part of which we are conducting with the recommendations of PMO office and ISEA, Information Security Education and Awareness Project, where part of Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And today this program is conducting by NILIT Partner Center. NILIT is one of the organization as part of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, MIT. This was designed in such a way that uh, there are three parts. The first part is basically on VILT mode, virtual instructor led training, where generally there is a 5 days with the various experts from CERTIN, STQC, NIC, NILIT, and CDAC members will join together and try to explain various aspects of the cybersecurity on these 5 days. So this is one program which all kinds of people are attending. So whether it could be a part of a management or administration, technical. So why we initiated this course, as this is one of the first course of a cybersecurity career oriented courses for government offices. The first course, you need to understand the various aspects of the cybersecurity, fundamentals of the cybersecurity in such a way that so you can take up, there is another courses based on your role, what you are playing at ministry. So it is very important for us as government officers to secure our environment, to secure our information. So as you know that during the last pandemic, there are a lot of cyber attacks are increased. Is not only with respect to a particular office or particular organization, even they were targeting individual to get some kind of information, to plan some kind of bots to continuously collect the information from organizations. By looking up the various things are happened in the last 1 year, and not only pandemic, whether you look about that how various countries are trying to get the information of each individual of each and every organization. So we need to secure our information, our infrastructure, and we need to self-sustenance in each and every ministry. That is what main point. So there are agencies are there to tackle these incidents, like certain is mainly looking about the incident analysis, and NCIPPC is as part of NTRO is for critical infrastructure, and there are other intelligence agencies are working very hard to secure our environments. But however, it's everything, we cannot depend on that. We should also have our own self-sustenance. We need to also understand our problems, our environment to secure ourselves. So that is where this program was initiated. You need to understand about you, how you behave, so that once we understand ourselves about us, we can easily understand about our gap areas. Once we understand our gap areas, we can try our best to cover those gap areas. Am I right? It applies for the cybersecurity also. If we understand ourselves and if we identified our vulnerabilities, so definitely we can plan a better security. See, then second step, we need to understand technology. See, maybe you are not part of technology where you are nowhere related to the cyber security, but you are using a mobile which is part of the organization, or even though which is in a that mobile is part of your personal thing. But the information, the way it is flowing through your mobile outside, may be reason for the knowing or supporting somebody to hack your organization or hack your personal things. So that is where understanding technology is the second point. The third point, understand your enemy. So if you know enemy, what he can target, what he will try to target. So if you understand that, definitely you can protect yourself. This is the step, like you also should think like a hacker. So because hacker is trying to get in our network and steal something. So if you think like a hacker, how he gets into our organization, if you know that, you can protect again. That's what these three principles which we need to implement as you being a part of administrator, part of management, part of technical, even though you are a member. So if you are part of a technical member, so you can implement technical controls. If you are part of management, you can support the technical people to understand about that how technical things will happen. And if you are part of administrator, so you can manage your things very administratively in cybersecurity also. Whether the job is related to you or not, but understanding security is very important, and it is everything. It's a kind of a responsibility for every member in the organization. That is where PMO is directed to all ministries to be part of this program and establish cybersecurity nucleuses in each and every ministry, so that you can self-sustain, you can deal with your cybersecurity by yourself. Wherever you can't deal with it, you cannot deal it, so then you can go to the implementing agencies such as a CERT-In and CIPPC, NTRO, such kind of organization to take support. So this is where this program is introduced. This program is three parts. The first part is, as I said, VILT, Virtual Instructor Led Training Schedule. The second part is, which is we are having, I'll discuss after this program. So how these two programs you can adapt yourself and understand in the cybersecurity. So with this, I request Sri Alok Tripathi, the director of NILIT Partner Center, to say a few words and start the initiate this training program.
Okay, so dear participants, as Murthy has told you that information security is an important part of life. I will add something. Now you hear daily newspapers and all the channels that India is going for $1 trillion digital economy. So our economy is now going to be digitized in a very massive way, and already we are in step of that. Okay, you have heard of demonetization, and most of the things have gone digital. Government offices are going digital, and mostly the private organizations, banks, financial institutions, all those organizations are going digital. And since the government is planning to make digitize our economy, all the aspects of the life are affected due to that. Okay, so now whatever this normal phenomena of this crime was there, now it is also changing itself. Now cyber crime is becoming prevalent. If you see the data, if you see the various reports, now the cyber crime is increasing day by day. And I have a report that in that it was seen that cyber crime was increasing at a rate of 147% after this digitization step is taking place. So everybody is affected with that. And you know that these cyber criminals are not only targeting financial institutions, there is a sort of some cyber warfare going on also. Initially, when this cyber crime was not there, the wars were used to be fought in the battlefield. But now, as this cyber crime is prevalent, now a term is coming, cyber warfare also, where the enemy's countries are targeting other countries and they are trying to hack their systems to gain the competitive advantage and to make that country stand still. Now you see that there are only not this financial infrastructure or all those things, there are some critical infrastructure also, and there are some various critical information. If that is leaked to a enemy country, then naturally the enemy country will gain advantages. Okay. As a government employee, we handle various sensitive files. There are a lot of critical information we handle, and if people are from the critical divisions like power sector or like that, then there's a critical infrastructure also. Nuclear, if people are from nuclear power establishment, then there's a critical infrastructure also. And if that critical infrastructure is hacked, or if that critical infrastructure is brought to stand still, then the whole country will be at standstill. Suppose a scenario in which our power grid is attacked and the whole power of the country is down. In that situation, what will happen? We will be stand still, and the enemy will win the battle without firing a single bullet. Okay, so now you see how this information security is becoming critical and critical. And that's why government has taken this initiative. Government has taken the initiative at the right step that everybody should be familiar with information security, because as the economy is digitizing now, even at the rural level also, people, lot of digital marketing is going on. Lot of companies are targeting consumers using this digital platform. So everybody is now, most of the people are now using digital platforms. So information security, if you see, information security has to be taught to all these persons so that they are not fall prey to cyber criminals. And as I have talked about the cyber warfare, also as a government organization, we have a critical responsibility, because in a cyber warfare, the enemy countries generally target government organizations. They try to steal information. They try to bring critical infrastructure to stand still. And all those things happens on the government organization. And as a government organization, suppose if you are from the banking sector or like that, then this financial aspect is also there. People are attacked for financial motives, to gain financial advantage and like that, to hack their account, to steal their money and all those things. So, and as a government organization, we have to educate also. We have to take care of the infrastructure that government has provided for the government sector. Suppose you are in a public sector, then there are a lot of information which you are holding. Suppose you are in a defense sector, then there are a lot of designs which are critical, which are very sensitive. And if those designs are leaked, then naturally a critical information will be there and we will be at a disadvantage. So now you see how this information security is penetrating every aspects of life as the digitization is going increasing day by day. So we have a very sensitive responsibility to educate us, to educate others also. And this is a program where you will be educated about the fundamentals of the information security. And as I have told you, that training is very important. The training, suppose this program is conducted for a week or 2 weeks, then that is not sufficient. If you see the knowledge is like an ocean. Okay, you have to pick a bucket, or you means you will gain knowledge from that ocean depending upon the efforts which you put. Okay, depending upon the efforts, that will be your bucket size. You will pick knowledge out of that. Your efforts will be your bucket size, and as you put more effort, you will learn more. So within these days, whatever the organization who conducts the training, that tries to build a spark in you, this spark is ignited to you so that you later on explore more things, you explore other things, and you increase your knowledge and you become an expert. Because you know, now there are various knowledge means. If you are an internet savvy also, then there are various things that are available on the internet. You can go through that, you can explore that thing, and you can increase on knowledge. And later on, you can join some training programs. If you are finding some difficulty, you can join some training programs. So these training programs are basically to ignite a spark in you, so that a spark is ignited into you in the quest, and you that spark brings a quest for knowledge in you, and you explore things more and you become expert. So this is the motive of this training program, to bring a spark in you. We will be covering most of the topics, and later on, when you feel, when you have a leisure time, you can explore, you can go more deep into that, and you can increase your knowledge and become a cyber security expert. And as a cyber security knowledgeable person, you will serve your nation, because as I have told you, you have a prime responsibility of securing this government infrastructure, because there are a lot of critical information that is available with the government, and that should not go to the enemy's hand. So as a government employee or as a government person, you have a very sensitive responsibility for securing this critical information. So with this, I will not take much time. Now I will ask Murthy further start the program. So as I have told you, we have designed a syllabus so that every aspects of the information security is covered. If you see, there is a system administration part also, that is familiarizing with with the operating system and the operating system administration. Then there is a parameter security part also. Then there is application security part also. So the program is designed such a way, there is a forensic part also. So the program is designed in such a way so that it covers every aspect of the information security, and you are familiar with that. And as I have told you, you are familiar with that. A spark is ignited you, and now you are the master. You have to explore things and make you cyber expert. So with this, I request you to please be serious with this training program and gain as much knowledge as you can and make this program a great success, because the program will be successful only when you have gained the knowledge. You have a spark is really ignited into you, and you are feeling confident to explore more things, to work on information security and make our information security or this information security infrastructure secure. Hello, Murthy, am I audible?
Yeah. Suddenly you stop it. That's what. Yeah, you may please go ahead.
Okay. So now I ask Murthy to further continue this program, and we will have very interesting sessions, and you will naturally find this information security program very interesting. Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Murthy. Now you can proceed further.
As you said, the training within 5 days is not possible. Is everybody knows of that, who are participating of this training also may feel like that how we can learn these 5 days. See, we need to remember this, as this 5 days is like an interactive mode. There are a lot of experts from CERT-In, STQC, NIC, NILIT, and CDAC of MIT, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. They would be introduced as an interactive mode. You can always interact. You can pose your questions in the chat box. We can also enable your audio as you request. If you wanted to clarification or you are not able to post whatever that you wanted to post in chat box, we can always enable your voice. But enabling each and everybody's voice at a time is very difficult and it's disturbing. So that I request everybody to post. If you wanted to speak, let us just, I wanted to, you raise hand in this one, or otherwise you can post your question here itself. The second point, as Mr. Alok Tripathi said, this 5 days is not sufficient, as I know that. That's what we are giving as part of the e-learning mode also, this courseware, and all videos, all related documents which would be enabled for you for a minimum 1 month from now today onwards, like up to March 15th. And do not worry about that. We will continue this e-learning as much as time as directed by MIT. But why I'm saying 1 month? See, if you postpone the things, you will generally postpone the things because if it is the time available there. So it's the nature of every human being. It's not only you. So generally we postpone. Okay, time is there. We will see. Look into the April. Look into the May, June. We don't want that. So that in a 1 month time which we are giving for both e-learning activities, rather than I say e-learning activities, we are trying to give this time for enabling your examination. Even though if you completed after completion of your examination also, all these videos, all these labs would be enabled for you till the directions of MIT we get it. So it's like a continuous process. Please remember it, it is a level 0 course. We are saying advanced level 0 course, and we feel like that you know already some IT ICT concepts. Even if you don't know, you do not worry, you just let us know so that There are a lot of courses are there with NILIT and CDAC where we will continually support you to make yourself to understand those concepts and make you comfortable in cyber security. That is what our wish, because you all should be part of cyber security. Whether you are part of we know that in the various ministries, you are the expert from your side, whether it could be an agriculture, whether it could be a biotechnology, whether it could be an education, you might be expert, but along with this expertise, we always feel that you should add cybersecurity as another domain for your expertise, because cybersecurity is coming in each and every domain. Why? Because IT ICT is replacing all traditional things, so that whenever IT ICT, wherever you are using computer, wherever you're using mobile, so definitely security is required. So whether you, rather than thinking about that how course is useful for implementing about cyber nucleus at your ministry, you think about this course is must for your individual purpose, and you have to learn. If you target this course should be completed within next 1 month, so definitely you can do with whatever the expertise your availability. So along with this VILT, we have another course where I'll making myself. So there is a you can visit this icereskill.net. So I'm very sorry, this is my login. I'll try to log out again, and as an end user, so this is basically the course which we have, online foundation courseware. Suppose let's say if you look into this courseware, when you logged into as that, even though some people said that they didn't get the user IDs, we are working out and we'll definitely see that. And remember that this is the how to submit exercise, assignment and case studies, where as part of this course we are giving minimum 15 15 assignments, where now NILIT may add another 5 assignments from their side. There are 20 assignments which we will provide it, you have to complete it. If you look into that, all assignments and exercises and case studies may be there in this. See, this is the type of case studies, Wireshark exercise. So you may be learning a tool and understanding of identifying the IP addresses of a website, and similarly understanding of the ports of your computer, like editing your Windows. So we may request you to edit your Windows operating system or Linux operating system and submit the report. And when you take your LAN, local area network of 10 computers, 20 computers, we may ask you to do risk assessment as a case study, 8, 9, and you may be dealing with a lot of information. So that the data classification, those things, how do you make the classification of your information? You may be doing by yourself by this time, but however, with respect to the aspects of cybersecurity, you have to do this exercise and submit. Otherwise, there are 4 courses are there. If you look into that, 4 courses are there, 4 modules. These are the 4 modules. Please remember that these modules may be or may not part of the VLT mode. VLT mode, generally they will try to make you understand the concept and practicals and all. But here, these are the modules are the basics. See, you can go to the understanding about the security. There are slides, so you can download these slides. But however, slides are very maybe useful or not useful, I don't know. So what we have given, there are variety of concepts are there. Understanding about cyber security, key information security concepts, components of information security, understanding threats, all these things are there. These are slides. But if you click that notes for introduction to information security, so all notes, whatever the slides which we have discussed of the various concepts in the module 1, all are here. If you look into that, these slides and with notes, you can get it. So please remember, if a slide is there here like a national perspective, and if you are able to read these concepts individually and write your notes, definitely you can pass examination very easily, because we are giving a multi like in a MCQs, we are giving choice based examination. So maybe whether we may ask you direct or indirect questions on this slide itself. We are preparing 2 to 3 questions on this slide, and one question may come, you may get it in the main examination. And as I forgot to say that if you submit, if you are attending, and if you these classes and your attendance and um, submission of the your assignments and exercises will get 40 marks. And most of the previous batches are got, the minimum marks are 29 and maximum marks are 36. So out of 40, if you are able to get in 30s, you can pass the examination. The remaining 60 marks is the main examination. Even if you get 20 marks, you are able to pass this examination. So I request you, all of you, that go through these slides and understand these concepts, write your notes, and you can easily attempt the examination. And moreover, if you are attending all 5 days and attending all, submitting all exercises, the submission of exercises, we may give it up to March 5th. So by the March 5th, if you are completing, then you may get maximum 40 marks here itself. So it would be very easy to pass this examination. And again, I'm stressing the point, this is the level 0 courses. And that means every government employee has to do this course to take up the level 1, level 2, level 3 courses. Where we are planning to introduce level 1 courses are role based. That means if you are acting as a role as that administrative and supporting CISO, so that role training course you have to complete it. That advanced level 2 courses is like an intra-domain expertise where you need to take another domain other than that what you are doing a role in your organization. An expert level is that, so the latest and trending technologies like AI, ML with cybersecurity, those courses will come, and these courses would be conducted by various IITs and NITs, and along with the CDAC NEELIT centers. This is what we planned the next 1 year, 2 year for your cybersecurity career. So please go through and learn and keep these concepts with you. And even though we are looking about that, if needed, we recommend an international courses to your ministry to take up cybersecurity as a career. That is where we are working as part of information security education and awareness. And if you look into that, the second chapter, this is the importance of the business a need of cyber security. Every ministry is having its own business. How do you adapt these businesses as part of the cyber security? This is what, and if you go to the notes, so all slides would be part of the notes. Then you have to understand legal and ethics of information security and introduction of information security controls, models, standards, practices, and management goals. So these are all self-study guides. You can read by yourself. And if you have any kind of doubts, once if you go through, you can either message on your WhatsApp or Telegram. We will continually support it. So if this is the maybe only few people can take it up, those who are developing the things, introduction to security system development cycle. As any time when you implement a project, you have to follow the systems development cycle, SDLC. And then now we are adding, when you are designing a product or when you are working with a third party development team, so you need to be add this cyber security. The cyber security development systems development cycle is very important. So while designing, developing the things, if you are able to add cyber security, then it would be in a good, and there is no need to worry about the post development. So this is where you require, and of course there are practical labs would be there. So these are the practical labs which we generally you will work on day 1, day 2, and most of the practicals are not required any kind of an huge systems and resources. You can do at your PC itself. In case if you don't have PC, we have a methodology that we will discuss at this moment. See, if you look into that, chapter 6 is more on management side, security policies and procedures and guidelines. where you can go to that various cybersecurity architecture, respective principles, understanding the risk, threats, and variable towards organization, risk management process and practices, and identify the key components of cybersecurity network architecture, etc. So information security policies, procedures, and guidelines, that is what majorly it would be there. And this is the practical oriented systems and network security concepts, understanding about the security of network systems, applications, and data, protocols and cryptography, understanding about digital signatures, PK implementation, certifying authority, how to implement, and understanding about firewalls and IDS, and understanding of email headers, hardening network and systems. These other things would be there. So every chapter is having a quiz. You need to participate quiz as part of the 40 questions. So that quiz assessment also, you will get in a 40 these things. Then information security audit and assessments. So because this is one of the chapter module very much important to you, that how to assess and audit your organization by yourself. So these are the things while you are connecting, your users are connecting remotely, what are the things you can consider. So this could be taken as part of this thing. So this with this, so these are the models would be there. Then in case if you don't have any kind of system at your place to do the practicals, we have a practical courseware online foundation course on cybersecurity. So that could be, you can start it. See, it's a simple thing. You have to give your email ID. Your email IDs are already registered with this system. And like you type chasmurthy@cdac.in, then just type the CAPTCHA 5T1, oh sorry, capital R 5T1A, login. So you will get an OTP. So that OTP, maybe you have to look into that. So you will get this OTP 272380. So there is no login user ID password. So you have to give this OTP methodology, you will get. Then again, SE1, I think this is 7T. So login. So it's already registered on 17th February 11:30 a.m. This my lab. And if you wanted to look about that Wireshark TCP lab, another one, reserve that lab. And these are the slots are available at this moment. And this 15th February, and maybe so this latest is available 10:50 a.m. So you can select it, and your reserve V lab slot is reserved successfully. So this lab. So once you get into this leave, when you are before 11:30 a.m. or around 11:30 a.m., these are all simple labs and half-an-hour labs, and you can have these labs and go to labs, and you can get the systems and do whatever the labs. So this is available on 24/7, which we are wanted to enable during these days, and you can do your practicals. So with this, I am closing here about that. What are the things are available to you, and you can continually do these things and do practicals. So where I want to take for 10 minutes about my security tried slide. So everybody is having the slide. So I called it as a CIA tried. So basically, this security tried CIA, which I am discussing. The CIA tried is a widely used information security model that can guide an organization's efforts and policies aimed at keeping its data secure, its information security. So nowadays, every domain deals with the security either physically or otherwise. In particular, the IT and ICT domain predominantly talks about these traits in everywhere, every department, every ministry. So anyone familiar with even the basic of cybersecurity would understand why these three concepts are important. CIA. But why is it so helpful to think of them as a triad of linked ideas rather than separately? That is where we discuss about these things. So understanding information security principles are very much important, as information security, sometimes abbreviated as a InfoSec, is a set of practices intended to keep data secure, intended to keep your information secure from unauthorized access or alterations, both when it's being stored and when it's being transmitted from one machine or physical location to another. Because your information, when it is stored, which we called as a data at rest, so it is storing at your mobile, storing at your computer, which is called as a data at rest. When your information is moving from your computer to another computer, we generally call it as data on move. So you might sometimes see it referred to as a data security, but security should be taken as a balance between the protection and availability. To achieve balance, the levels of security should allow reasonable access and protect against various threats. Information security refers to the processes and methodologies which are designed and implemented to protect your electronic or any other form of confidential, private and sensitive information or data. From where? From unauthorized access, unauthorized use, or unauthorized misuse, or authorized misuse, you can say, otherwise disclosure, destruction, modification, or disruption. So such kind of adversary, such kind of acts, you need to protect your data. So the fundamentals of the information security are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So every element of information security program and every security control put in place and by entity should be designed to achieve one more of these principles. Together, they are called as CIA triad. So you need to protect your information from the information or data from unauthorized access, use, misuse, disclosure, destruction, modification, or disruption. So the major security principles which you look into that CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which we discuss as of today, and non-repetition and authenticity, we generally called as an supportive principles. We also look into that. So data communication refers to the transmission of the digital data between two or more computers. The physical connection between networking computing devices is established using either cable media or wireless media. So basically, when you connect two computers, either you use a cable media, or even though nowadays we are all part of wireless, so wireless media. Communication between computers is almost always serial, but these computers in generally when we talk about the internet, the TCP/IP roles or TCP/IP plays an important role because it is a set of communication protocols which is used by computers to communicate online. So the entire internet is working on TCP/IP protocol suite. So we need to understand that TCP/IP protocol suite is very much important. So what is the interruption? See, when these two computers talking about each other by using TCP/IP, oh, that's nice. They will share the information, they enjoy the information sharing each other. But if somebody is interrupting, so what do you mean by interruption? This type of attack is due to the obstruction of any kind during the communication. The communication processes between one or more systems. So the systems which are used to become as unusable after this attack by unauthorized users, which results in the misusing or wastage of these systems. Why? Because if you look into that, if somebody is sending any information, let's say you are part of an organization and you want to access some website www.xxx.com, but that request is not coming page to is not found. But when you are accessing out of the organization, that request may be working. That means your organization interrupting your request not to access that website. Am I right? So for any information system to serve its purpose, the information must be available when it is needed. So if somebody is interrupting, so it means that information is not available to the recipient and the end user. So that is where we need to look about that. So some organization may be implementing a proxy and decoding your data. Based on the data as part of the policy of organization, they may interrupt you also. The same thing can be done by a hacker also. When somebody is trying to send a communication, because of the vulnerability of a particular communication device, he can stop, or he can implement the proxy and he can stop that. So that intrusion can happen in that particular document. So what is that happening here? So there is an availability problem. So if somebody is interrupting your data, interrupting your communication, there is an availability problem. The availability is the probability that an item will be in an operable and committable state at the start of a mission when the mission is called for its random time, and it's generally defined as an uptime divided by total time if you are looking about the definition. But as an end user, the availability means is what? The availability means whenever I wanted to access something, that should be available, whether it could be a web page, whether it could be information in the your local system. So availability guarantees that the systems and applications and data are available to the users when they need them. The most common attack that impacts availability is denial of service attack, in which the attacker interrupts the access to information. Here I would like to ask you about that. Is anybody wanted to share your Gmail ID? Anybody wanted to share with me your Gmail ID? If you wanted to share it, just chat in my to me only the message box, and you can see in the chat box and to me, so that I can only see your Gmail ID. No others will see that. And if you wanted to share with everybody, yes. So I have seen one Gmail ID. Enough. I thank you. There are two more Gmail IDs that came to me. Please not to host, not to post these messages. So because I can understand. So there are three variety of Gmails I will take as an example. So this is what information. By seeing this information of the email ID, so I'm able to understand about that whomever sent this or typed this gmail.com. So that is where his name, that e-name is very nicely I can get it. Remember why I'm pointing out that so-and-so name x.y@gmail.com. X is her name and Y is maybe is like in a home name or husband name or father name. So I can easily understand about that C what I have seen. Maybe I can further find out this information by taking this simple information. I can further check some like in a open source based or chats or social networking chats. I'll get some more information. The second email also giving some numbers like 31415. So I can understand what it is 3141 by so and so person, why he was kept this one by keeping some kind of information. So third one is also is like a x.y@gmail.com. But what is that I understood that these mail IDs are giving some information. Am I right? Okay. So this is the first tip you have to consider. So when you are using private email IDs, it's better not to create with your names, because your names should not be given as that is that email ID belongs to you. You can say me that, but how do you others understand about, how your friends understand about your email ID? See, when you, if they definitely they are friends, definitely you can share with them in privately what is your email ID. Okay, I'm keeping this aside for some a moment, but now what is the denial of service attack? Let's say whomever given this email ID, I enter 5 different passwords. What happens? The 5 different passwords, definitely the server would be locked. Am I right? The one server is the server means here is a Gmail ID would be locked. Even though she tries to actual password, she cannot see or he cannot access those that system, because of I denied by changing by giving a number of passwords, different passwords, because I locked it. When the user ID is locked, even the original user cannot access it. Am I right? This is called denial of service. And how do you unlock it? Because you might have registered with your mobile registered, you will get OTP and you will unlock. That process is there. You may be unlocking these things. That takes minimum 2 minutes. Am I right? Within 2 minutes, I am again locked. So whenever you are unlocking, I am unlocking. I am making locking with a simple script, an automated script, and I'm continuously running on internet. Then what happens? You never access your Gmail ID, even though you are the owner. This is what the denial of service attack. What exactly has happened? I am denying the service which you have. That means I am denying the availability of the Gmail to you. So that is where the availability is the key concept you need to understand, and key information security principle. So what is that? So availability is not there, then there is a denying the access to the information. So that's what you need to keep always things to the information is available. So what is that actually? If suppose let's say your Gmail is not able to access by the time for a particular file or particular send, you need a backup. Of course, you might be having another email ID, that is a different thing. But that is a for that example. But if anything can be accessed, not be accessed, like you are taking a presentation USB, you will copy into your presentation and you also take an USB. In case when your system is not working there in front of your secretary, so you can use again USB and data. So the availability of the data always should be kept with you as in a backup. Now, the critical characteristics of information too, which we look into that, if somebody is doing an interception with your data. Here in this case, somebody is not interrupting, but they are intercepting your data when 2 people are talking, like telephone tapping. Let's take example telephone tapping. So when 2 people are speaking each other, you can listen the voice. In similar way, when the data is transferring between the 2 computers, you can collect those data and see the data. So if that is the way, whatever you are, both people are speaking each other, it doesn't have any confidentiality. Am I right? So confidentiality is again as to the limit the access to the information to those 2, and it is revealing to third party. It is in a kind of a data leak. What you need to do that, even though it is a collecting the information as a third party, you need to use a kind of an encryption methodologies, like preventing unauthorized subjects from accessing information. If you, while transiting the data, if you are encrypted, even though he is collecting the data could not be, even though he cannot access, because it doesn't have the key to open that particular file. It is encrypted. So then third characteristic is normal flow modification. When it is a modification, so modification is basically somebody is modifying your data while translating from one computer to another computer. That is where the modifying thing is very much you need to consider. Modification attacks are involved tampering with our asset, our data. Such attacks might primarily be considered an integrated attack, but could also represent an availability attack. If we access a file in an unauthorized manner and alter the data it contains, we have affected the integrity of the data that contained in the file. So that is integrity problem. So this is the third principles. Like as the name indicates, the message which is sent by the sender is modified and sent to the destination by unauthorized user. So that means fabricated. In the type of attack, the fake messages are inserted into the network by an unauthorized user as if it is a valid user. So message modification is a kind of an attack in which an attacker intercepts the message and changes their contents, and message modification requires. So that you remember that he require intercept the data, then only he can change it. So the previous attack, which is interception, is very much important. When he is not able to do interception, he may interrupt the data so that the availability problem will come. So all these CIA principles are related to each and every other. So integrate requires that the computer asset can be modified by an authorized parties. Modification can include so writing of data, changing of data, or changing status of the data, sometimes deleting some words in your data, or you may create new data. Anything can be done. So how do we stop that? You need to use hashing algorithms, preventing unauthorized subjects from modifying the information. So that is where you need to consider this one. What is the hashing? Hashing is nothing but, let's say, anything you download, like from Linux environment or any kind of software, they give the MD5 hash. What that means? When they are uploaded the document, they hashed it and they kept it. That hash they publicize it along with that particular file. When you download it, after downloading at your computer, you need to do that hash and see that what is the hash value, and this hash value should be the same as where the uploading server is having. When both are same, so that in between nobody is downloaded. Similarly, when you are sending a message or file, you hash it. Once he received, let him hash that hash so that the both hashes are same, then there is nobody changed in between. If hashes are changed, that some modification has happened. This is in generally happens. See, even the Microsoft gives a patch, but the same patch can be taken by a third party and also add something and given to you. The Microsoft patch hash and whatever you downloaded third party hash may not be same because he added something, his advertisement he added, and he is giving free, and some Microsoft maybe as a registered user is required, but he is giving free to anybody. So once you download, that ad means the third party ads will come. So that kind of download may not be the right download because by the time has changed. So that is where you need to look about this integrity. So what is that? CIA. CIA is nothing but confidentiality, integrity, and availability, where we need to look about that these three principles, how they were against to the DAD trades. What is the relation between CIA and a DAD trade? Here, C is nothing but confidentiality. So whenever the confidentiality is there, that means what? There is a disclosure of information. Two systems are talking to each other. That means the systems, when talking to each other, that somebody is interrupting the data, that intercepting the data, the interception data he able to see means, so the data leak is happening to the third party. That means what? The disclosing the information is happening to third party. So confidentiality is again always the against the disclosure. That is what D, post D. So when coming to that integrity, so integrity means what? So the which we discussed, if somebody is alters, modifies the data, it is against of the integrity. So what is that? Integrity is against to the alteration. So the file integrity monitoring, if suppose somebody is changing the logs or somebody is sending the emails and on behalf of you, that you generally use it to get it, no? An email from the bank that to update, but actually it is not that. You see, they created a new data modification and on behalf of bank they were sending. So that means that is kind of a alternate data. So the second is alteration is against to the integrity. And the third D, destruction. So availability means somebody is interrupted message or they destructed the data so that you are not able to get the data. So it's a destruction is against to the availability. So that's what the CI DAT traits. The confidentiality is a relation with the disclosure, availability is the relation with the destruction, and integrity is with the alteration. So CIA DAT trials. So now, like, look about the confidentiality. When you while you are doing an ATM card transaction, what exactly happens? ATM card transaction. So when you put a card and you required and a PIN also. So that means there is a requirement of the two-way authentication. Either without card, your PIN won't work, or without PIN, your card won't work. And when you swipe the your card at ATM machine, it is updating the data. Suppose let's say if you have taken 2,000 rupees, wherever bank, whichever the bank, even if you are you went to some ATM which is not belongs to your bank, still that is immediately affecting the record, the 2,000 rupees of debit immediately on your account. Am I right? So that is what confidentiality that is successfully implemented, that records are updated within no time. So that is where ATM contrast. So what is exactly it is recognizing? It is recognizing you as who are you, and who, what is you having, and what you are biometrics. So these three things can be utilized to implement the confidentiality. So here one of the example before my case study which I am giving and explaining to that CI DAT case study. So if I'm before going to that, let's say example, what factor of the CI DDA tried can the credit card company be best said to have violated? You need to consider now an example case study. Let's say I'm explaining here. So one company is having the data in 2005. They made it the data in the CD-ROMs, and they have the old IDE hard disk. This data is there. What they thought is that basically this data is there in CD-ROM drives. So they simply throw their disks into a dustbin, because the space is why they throw this hard disk is hard disks are now they are not working with the latest systems, so that they are not able to recognize, and they don't have old systems, and they don't know how to do that. They throw it into the dustbin. And somebody bought these CD-ROM drives and these things, so they can get into the data. And this is what the case study of the company. Now you say that the card company being best said to have violated, whether they have violated confidentiality, destruction, and identification or availability. That is where we need to look about that. So if you do look about this confidential data without destroying the media, if a media is unreadable, it should be physically destroyed or even burned to avoid losing confidential data. So when it is looking at the identification, they identified the data well, very well, but they know that what is the data. So it is, we cannot consider this identification is actually answer. So actually they made it available to everybody, this data. So availability may not be right answer. So then they were not done any kind of destruction. By default, when they didn't do any destruction, they are simply given, thrown it out as disk, so it's not available. But what is the main availability? Confidentiality is the right answer, because so by availing this data, the confidentiality is making is the major problem. So that is why you need to look at. So along with the behind the CI tried, so Don Parker proposed a six-sided model along with CI model. So the required the information should be somebody should have taken control. Somebody should have a possession, like a ownership, along with confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Then fifth one is authenticity is very much important. Then utility is the third is one. So when you implement this six-sided model, for your security, definitely you would be successful. So with this, I'm closing my session. And in case if you have any questions, you please type it. And there is a 5-minute break. After 5-minute break, so one of the member will join and try to explain the remaining things and requirements. Thank you very much for being part of this one. And I wish you all the best for the remaining